Beneath the vast, frozen heart of our planet, a secret sleeps. Antarctica, the quietest, coldest place on Earth, holds more than just ice and snow. It holds the future of our world. But what if, in a single cataclysmic moment, all of Antarctica's ice melted? Not in centuries, not over decades, but all at once. Every glacier, every snowflake, every shimmering sheet of ancient ice vanished into the sea. In the blink of an eye, the most massive ice sheet on Earth would unleash its secrets, its chaos, and its consequences. This is that story. Let's begin with just how massive Antarctica truly is. A continent of ice, Antarctica is not just another landmass tucked away at the bottom of our maps. It is a frozen giant, a vast and hauntingly beautiful wilderness unlike any other place on Earth. Its size alone is difficult to grasp. Spanning over 14 million square kilometers, it covers more area than the United States and Mexico combined. In fact, it is approximately 40% larger than all of Europe. But its true enormity isn't just horizontal, it's vertical. On average, Antarctica's ice sheet is over 2 kilometers thick, and in some places, it exceeds 4 kilometers. That's taller than many of the peaks in the Rocky Mountains. The volume of ice is even more staggering, 25 million cubic kilometers. This colossal quantity of frozen water holds about 60% of the world's fresh water supply and an astonishing 90% of all the ice on Earth. If you melted it all, sea levels would rise by about 70 meters, enough to drown every coastal city on the planet and redraw the face of our continents. But Antarctica is not just a giant slab of ice. Beneath this icy crust lies a mysterious and rugged landscape. Towering mountain ranges like the Gamburtsev Mountains, buried beneath the ice, rival the Alps in height. There are vast subglacial valleys, some deeper than the Grand Canyon, and expansive plains that haven't seen the sun in millions of years. These hidden geographies are slowly being mapped using ice-penetrating radar and satellite imagery, revealing an ancient world frozen in time. One of the most fascinating discoveries beneath the ice is the presence of subglacial lakes, more than 400 of them. These lakes, sealed away from the atmosphere for millions of years, exist under crushing pressure and absolute darkness, warmed slightly by geothermal heat from Earth's core. Among them is Lake Vostok, one of the largest and deepest freshwater lakes on Earth, completely isolated under nearly 4 kilometers of ice. Scientists believe it may harbor unique forms of microbial life, offering a glimpse into how life might exist in similarly extreme conditions on other planets or moons, like Jupiter's Europa or Saturn's Enceladus. Antarctica is also home to powerful natural forces. Katabatic winds rush down from the high interior plateau, reaching speeds over 300 kilometers per hour. These icy gales are some of the strongest winds on the planet. Temperatures can plunge below -80 degrees Celsius in the interior during winter, making it the coldest place on Earth. In fact, the lowest temperature ever recorded on the planet was in Antarctica, -93.2 degrees Celsius at the East Antarctic Plateau. Despite these extremes, life clings to the edges. Along its coastlines and in the surrounding Southern Ocean, Antarctica supports a surprisingly rich ecosystem. Penguins march across icy plains, seals dive through frigid waters, and whales migrate through nutrient-rich currents. Beneath the ice shelves, strange and resilient organisms thrive in the darkness, feeding off mineral-rich hydrothermal vents and microscopic plankton. These ecosystems depend on the delicate balance of ice and ocean, a balance that is now being disrupted. And Antarctica isn't just vital for the animals that live nearby. Its ice sheet plays a critical role in regulating the planet's climate. The white surface reflects a significant portion of the sun's radiation back into space, helping to cool the Earth in a process known as the albedo effect. Its interaction with atmospheric and oceanic currents also drives major weather systems, including the formation of the Antarctic circumpolar current, the most powerful ocean current on Earth, encircling the continent and connecting the Atlantic, Pacific, and Indian Oceans. But this enormous, frozen reservoir of life and history is under threat. Climate change is accelerating its melt. Parts of West Antarctica are losing ice at unprecedented rates. The Antarctic Peninsula, once stable, is now one of the fastest warming regions on Earth. Ice shelves are cracking. Glaciers are retreating. What once seemed immutable is now fragile. It's difficult to overstate how much the rest of the world depends on Antarctica staying frozen. Scientists warn that even a partial melt could have devastating consequences. Entire cities would be swallowed by the sea. Agricultural zones would be flooded with salt water. Millions of people would become climate refugees. Locked within the ice is a record of Earth's atmospheric history, preserved in tiny bubbles of air. Ice cores extracted from Antarctica tell us how the planet's climate has changed over hundreds of thousands of years, offering invaluable insights into natural cycles and human impact. Losing that record would be like burning the Earth's diary. Antarctica has always seemed distant, a frozen frontier at the bottom of the world. But its fate is tied to ours. Its ice is our water. Its chill helps keep our world temperate. Its silence holds our history. And if it melts, if it vanishes in a catastrophic instant, then everything changes. The first to disappear is the Thwaites Glacier, ominously nicknamed the Doomsday Glacier. This massive body of ice, roughly the size of Florida, sits precariously on the edge of the West Antarctic ice sheet. Scientists have been watching it for decades, alarmed by its instability and rapid retreat. It alone holds enough ice to raise global sea levels by more than 60 centimeters. But the true danger lies not just in its size, but in its position. Thwaites acts like a natural plug. If it collapses, it could destabilize the entire West Antarctic ice sheet, setting off a chain reaction of melting that could continue for centuries, or happen in a terrifyingly short time. And in our scenario, it happens all at once. The glacier fractures with a sound like thunder splitting the sky. Cracks spiderweb across its surface, growing wider, deeper. Then, as if exhaling after millions of years, Thwaites lets go. Ice cascades into the Amundsen Sea in a colossal, roaring collapse. Billions of tons of frozen water surge into the ocean, and the effects are immediate. In San Francisco, sirens wail as water races through the streets. In Miami, seawalls are overwhelmed in minutes. In New Orleans, neighborhoods are swallowed before evacuations can begin. The ocean seems to breathe in, then exhale with fury. The Indian Ocean, the Pacific, the Atlantic, all begin to swell. Water surges inland with unstoppable momentum. The floodwaters do not discriminate. They swallow skyscrapers and slums alike. But Thwaites is just the beginning. Beneath its icy surface lies a river, not of ice, but of liquid water, supercharged by geothermal energy from the Earth's molten core. This hidden heat has been slowly carving out a subglacial waterway, lubricating the base of the glacier, making it even more vulnerable to collapse. As the glacier disintegrates, this meltwater accelerates the process. What was once a slow trickle becomes a torrent. Glaciers to the east and west, once held in place by the bulk of Thwaites, begin to shift. They slide forward, gaining speed. The Pine Island Glacier, the Haines Glacier, and dozens more follow suit. Icebergs the size of cities calve off and tumble into the sea. The ocean rises not in decades, not in years, but in hours. The Southern Ocean turns chaotic. Tsunamis ripple outward from Antarctica, crashing into coastlines thousands of kilometers away. Fishing fleets are capsized. Cargo ships vanish beneath the waves. Naval bases scramble to issue warnings. But the deluge moves faster than words can travel. Satellite imagery shows the transformation in real time. Antarctica's jagged coastline smooths out as ice melts and flows into the sea. What was once white becomes blue, and what was once still becomes violet. The air warms. The water rises. The planet reels. In London, the Thames barrier is overtopped. In Tokyo, emergency broadcasts urge millions to flee inland. In Lagos and Mumbai, there is no time, no higher ground. People climb trees, scramble onto rooftops, cling to anything that floats. And still, the ice keeps falling. In the days that follow, the collapse of Thwaites becomes known as the First Surge, in what will later be called the Age of Water. Warm ocean currents gnawed at the glacier from below. Rising air temperatures weakened it from above, and geothermal heat created rivers underneath, destabilizing it from within. It was only a matter of time. But no one imagined time would run out so fast. The collapse of Thwaites marks the end of stability for Antarctica. The West Antarctic ice sheet unravels. Ice flows into the ocean like a broken dam, and the rest of the world watches in horror as their shorelines disappear. The dominoes are falling. But water isn't the only thing unleashed. Trapped in Antarctica's icy vault are microbes, bacteria, and viruses that haven't seen the light of day in millions of years. Why does this happen? Because ice is not only cold, it is also immensely heavy. The Antarctic ice sheet weighs around 24 billion megatons. For millennia, this colossal weight has actually pulled ocean water toward the continent through its gravitational influence. The water has been held closer to Antarctica than it would otherwise be. But when the ice disappears, so does its gravitational grip. As the pull weakens, the water that was once drawn toward the icy mass redistributes outward. This results in a local sea level drop around Antarctica, even as sea levels surge elsewhere. This phenomenon is known as gravitational rebound, or more formally, post-glacial rebound, and sea level fingerprinting. As the weight of the ice lifts, the Earth's crust begins to rise slowly. It's a geological exhale after millennia of pressure. But this rebounding is not fast enough to stop the water's outward rush. Instead, coastal areas thousands of kilometers away experience the brunt of the flooding, while shores once nearest to the ice momentarily breathe a short-lived sigh of relief. With so much mass redistributed from land to sea, the balance of the planet subtly shifts. Earth's rotation wobbles. Ocean currents adjust. Climate models scramble to recalculate. In places like South America, Australia, Southeast Asia, and parts of the eastern United States, sea level rise reaches catastrophic proportions. Coastal highways vanish. Wetlands are swallowed. Entire river systems are reversed or stagnate due to saltwater intrusion. Deltas, already vulnerable, are devastated. Bangladesh becomes a memory. The Nile Delta retreats. The Mekong floods outward with nowhere to drain. The ocean begins to creep into unexpected places. In Central Asia, ancient salt flats are refilled. Underground aquifers in arid regions become tainted with brine. Once fertile farmland turns into marsh or salt-ridden desert. It's not just a rising tide, it's a total reshaping of Earth's hydrology. Insurance markets collapse. Real estate investments are rendered worthless overnight. Entire economies centered on tourism, agriculture, or trade implode as their foundations are literally washed away. Ports go underwater, disrupting global supply chains. Shipping routes are altered. New, unpredictable wind and storm patterns lash coastlines that once sat comfortably inland. All the while, the psychological effects ripple through humanity. The trauma of forced migration, the spiritual loss of ancestral lands, the disappearance of entire nations. Island countries like the Maldives and Tuvalu cease to exist above sea level. Cultural heritage sites are lost, not to war or fire, but to the relentless rise of the sea. For those who survive, adaptation becomes a new way of life. Floating cities are proposed and, in some cases, built. Nations compete to secure high ground. Inland areas experience population booms, straining resources and infrastructure. Geopolitical alliances shift. Borders blur. Climate refugees become the largest displaced group in history. Yet through all this, the eerie sight of falling sea levels near Antarctica serves as a grim reminder. The ice that once anchored an entire hemisphere is gone. And the world, quite literally, is out of balance. Ecological balance crumbles. As the frozen heart of Antarctica bleeds into the sea, its freshwater dilutes the salty ocean, disrupting one of Earth's most essential systems, the global ocean conveyor belt. Melting ice releases a torrent of fresh water into the North Atlantic and Southern Oceans, where it dilutes the dense, salty water that normally sinks and helps drive this global current. As salinity decreases, so does water density. Without this vast underwater highway, warm water lingers in the tropics. Polar regions, instead of being replenished by warmth, freeze in stasis. Storms increase in the equator. Winters grow harsher in the north. Summers become brutal in the south. Monsoons fail to arrive. Drought grips lands that were once green. Phytoplankton, the microscopic algae that form the base of the ocean food web, are among the first to feel the effect. These tiny organisms thrive on nutrients that are stirred up from the ocean floor by the conveyor belt. Without circulation, vast stretches of the ocean surface become nutrient-poor dead zones. In these barren waters, phytoplankton die off. Yet, paradoxically, in other areas, particularly near Antarctica, phytoplankton populations explode. The meltwater is rich in iron, a nutrient normally scarce in those southern seas. By the end of it all, sea levels have risen over 70 meters. The vast majority of the world's coastline has disappeared beneath the ocean. Islands are lost forever. Cities that once stood for centuries now lie silent under salt water. 40% of the world's population, over 3 billion people, are displaced or dead. The mass migration strains every functioning society. Some nations collapse entirely under the weight of refugees. Others become militarized fortresses. Most coastal cities are underwater. New York, Tokyo, London, Sydney, Mumbai, and countless others are gone. Their skylines exist only in archived satellite imagery and scattered memories. Global food and water supplies are critically damaged. Arable land has been swallowed by the sea or turned to salt. Famine is widespread. Disease spreads. Cholera, dengue, leptospirosis, diseases of the flood, become commonplace. Epidemics surge in overcrowded camps and drowning cities. Medical supplies run out. Hospitals are underwater or overwhelmed. Ecosystems collapse. Coral reefs bleach beyond recovery. Rainforests dry up. Species extinction becomes a daily headline. Food chains disintegrate, leaving deserts both on land and in the sea. And Earth is hotter, stranger, and more dangerous than ever. Temperature extremes widen. Superstorms lash coastlines that no longer exist. Wildfires burn through new forests. Snow falls in deserts. Drought strangles river basins. Nature no longer follows familiar rules. This is the final toll. It is not sudden like a bomb. It is slow like erosion, persistent like gravity. It is death by accumulation, the compounded consequence of inaction, denial, and delay. And all because one continent melted. The good news? It hasn't happened. Not yet. But the ice is melting. Sea levels are rising. The conveyor belt is weakening. The warning signs are real. We still have time. Not much, but enough to make a difference. With each passing year, the window narrows. But action, real, collective, and global, can still turn the tide. Cutting emissions, protecting forests, restoring wetlands, investing in clean technology. It all matters. Every policy, every innovation, every voice that demands change adds weight to the scale. The question isn't just what governments will do. It's what each of us will choose. The way we travel, eat, vote, build, and dream. Climate is not someone else's responsibility. It belongs to all of us. And so does the solution. Antarctica may feel distant, but its fate is intimately tied to ours. Every glacier that cracks, every sea level rise, every species lost. These are not isolated events. They are chapters in a story we are still writing. And while we may not get to rewrite the past, we do get to shape the ending. So the real question isn't, what if it melts? It's, what will we do now to stop it? Thank you for watching. If this story moved you, inspired you, or opened your eyes, even just a little, then share it. Talk about it. Act on it. Because the future isn't written yet. And together, we still have the power to change it. Stay curious, stay hopeful, and we'll see you in the next video.